Hello, this is a broadcast normally we do on Facebook, but trying it on YouTube, having developed a little bit more acumen for this, or should I say, having been shown how to do it by somebody else. So this is just a simple reflection on the readings for Saturday of week 5, Easter. Basically, what's happened in the Acts of the Apostles is that St. Paul has achieved what he set out to do, which was to get the church in Jerusalem, so-called Council of Jerusalem, technically the first of the councils of the church, persuaded them to allow non-Jewish converts to Christianity to simply be allowed to become Christian through baptism, and not have to go through the process, first of all, of joining the Jewish faith. And so the way is set for the preaching of the gospel to anybody, irrespective of their background. And so Paul engages the help of Timothy, who will be his companion for a while, and they travel to various churches that have been already established. And then Paul has a vision, a dream, if you like, of somebody from Macedonia, northern Greece, asking him basically to come over and to proclaim the gospel to them, which he does. Forgetting about the sort of details of visions and so on, there are various different ways in which people are inspired to do something that perhaps at first they wouldn't choose. And Paul is certainly inspired to move away from what perhaps by then was a bit of a safe route. The fact that he was revisiting churches that were already established. It's almost like a wake-up call. God saying to him, you're too settled. You're just doing the sort of simple, straightforward things of traveling back and forth to different church communities. It's time for you to go further afield, to spread your wings. Sometimes we find it very easy to stay with what is familiar. It happens when people meet in parties, events where people have to mingle. We used to call cocktail parties, not so sure now. The temptation is to find somebody that you know and go and talk to them. That's assuming you like the person that you know. But it's generally you'll go towards somebody who's familiar, somebody you think you can strike up a conversation with easily. It's much more difficult, but can be much more rewarding to strike up a conversation with people you don't know. How else do we expand our horizons, expand our group of friendships, group of contacts? People sometimes do that in an ironical, not ironical, a sort of a way of where they're meeting with people in order to network, as it's called, rather than necessarily because they really want to meet with new people. They just want to get what necessary influences they might think that they need. But to say it's easy, or can be too easy, to follow the path that is simple and straightforward and familiar, more difficult to travel a path that is less trodden, a new path. That's perhaps the great challenge for us as we come out of the COVID situation. It would be a lot easier simply to settle for the people who gradually are coming back to church and think, well, we'll concentrate on these people. That is important, and we should never ever be in a situation where we say that those people are not important. But perhaps this is a great opportunity for the church, both the universal church, the national church, the diocesan church, and the parish church, to perhaps look further afield and take inspiration from St. Paul. I think we are being told the time is right to spread our wings. The time is right to search new avenues to bring the gospel message. My personal dream would be that the church in England and Wales would take out a national advert, preferably with somebody relatively famous, recognizable, rather than necessarily wheel out, dare I say, a crusty old bishop. That's my future career in the church ended, I suppose. But not that there is much of a one. But to have somebody that's instantly recognizable by the majority of people, who's a Catholic, who can say in a way that perhaps will really engage with people who've stopped going to church or perhaps who've never been to church. Now is the time. Things are changing. Why not give it a chance? Think about going to your local church. A few months ago, there was an advert for a well-known beer company. I think it was a noted Irish company with a black emblem. And when I was listening, I missed the beginning of it. When I was listening to it, I thought, is this the Catholic Church? Because it was saying, we've been locked out of our buildings. Things have been very, very difficult, but now things are opening up again. It's a great opportunity for people to gather again. Pubs have done this. Football clubs are doing this. We're a little bit slow. This is a great opportunity. It's not something new. It's following in the footsteps of St. Paul. And look at how successful he was. This is a great opportunity for us. We either take this opportunity and boldly move on into the future, or as Star Trek would say, to boldly go into the unknown. This is a great opportunity. Alternatively, we can settle for what is familiar, and very soon there'll be nothing familiar left. This is not just an opportunity, it's essential for us to reach out as far as we possibly can to welcome people either back into our churches or welcome them for the first time. St. Paul did it a long time ago. It's because of what he did that the church is where it is today. Let's pray that we can do our part and help to build the church of today, a church that has the assurance of a tomorrow. So thank you very much for listening.